boys and girls, we're going to go over your assignment for social studies, lesson 201. You're going to start by going into your social studies course. You're going to scroll down, and we are looking at module 2. So you'll open up your module 2 massive migration folder, and we are going to look at lesson 201. This is a worksheet assignment, so we'll take a look at what that assignment is. I'm going to start by going into the lesson. Here you'll come to the page where you can view your lesson. So we can click here and it'll open up the lesson in a bigger format for you. And this is a 12-page lesson. You want to make sure you go through all 12 pages. This lesson is called Curiosity and Questions. It's going to bring you through some primary and secondary sources. And here are some directions. Before you begin this lesson, you will need to print your historian journal for Module 2, which is right here at the bottom, 2.01 Historian's Journal. Remember, as you study each document, look closely at the full image. Look closely in each corner, look closely in the center. Think about what you see, the people, places, things, titles, captions, other words, or numbers. So, you're going to open up this assignment, which is your historian's journal, and you're going to want to print or screenshot each of these pages. So it's 4 pages long, and you want to make sure you have all 4 pages printed out or screenshotted so that you can get through the assignment. On the top here, you'll see the directions. It says, as you study each document in this lesson, record what you already know in the K column. So what you already know as you're looking at each of the documents, what do you already know? Write at least 4 questions you want to know in the W column. So as you're looking at document 1, you're going to write 4 questions, at least 4 questions you need to know. And as you work through this module, you're going to add the answers to your questions in the L column as you learn the content. As you work through the module, add any additional questions you might have and any interesting things you learned. So this is called a KWL chart. What I know already about the document, what questions I have for the W, and that's what you would write your 4 questions. And then what did you learn from the document? So let's take a look at what your documents are. So document 1, you have the Promontory Point, Utah photo here. And it gives you the directions. Let me go back. On your historian's journal, list the things you already know in the first column. Things like, okay, I know these people are standing on 2 trains. You can see the trains in the background that they're standing on. You might say, I know that there are all men in this photo. If you take a close look, you can see that these are all men. So things that you know about what you see in the picture. Then it gives you the directions. Next, in the second column, make a list of at least 4 closed-ended and open-ended questions you have about this document. As a historian, you do what do you want to know? So this is where you would fill out these first 2 columns. Oops. What I know and what I want to know. And that's document 1, Promontory Point, Utah. It's even labeled here. Document 2. You're going to do the same thing. Notice that you're just focusing on the know and the want. You're just focusing on these 2 columns throughout the lesson so far. So document 2, building the railroad. What do you already know? What questions do you have? And you need at least 4 questions. So you're going through that for each document. Document 2, building the railroad. Document 3, railroad workers. Notice it's just the know and the want columns. Effects of moving west. Cheyenne and the tracks. Arriving at Ellis Island. Document 7, Tenement Life. Document 8, Mulberry Street. And now you've come to the end of the documents. Now it says, so that means you've gone through all of these documents 1 through 8, and you have done the first 2 columns. What do you already know in the first column, and what do you want to learn? What questions do you have in the second column? And remember, you need at least 4 questions. Now that you have had a chance to work as a historian studying various documents and asking questions, you are probably beginning to see that things were very different in the late 1800s and early 1900s. During this module, you will learn about the expansion of the United States. Hopefully, you will discover the answers to many of your questions. Some questions may still remain unanswered, and you may want to explore more on your own. Keep up with your historian journal. You need to keep this in a safe spot. Okay, the historian journal, keep it in a safe spot because you're going to add to it. You're going to answer those questions as you go, and you're going to submit your historian journal at the end of Module 2 to show your learning and thinking. So you're going to want to hang on to this because you're going to submit it at the end of Module 2. You'll have some more time to work on this later on throughout your module. But for lesson 201, the K and the W should be filled out for document 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. These first 2 columns for 1 through 8 should be completed for 201. You will do the third column, what I learned right here. You'll do this third column as you go through the module, and you'll do the bottom portion of this assignment later on at the end of the module, or throughout the module, I should say. Okay, so you're just doing those first 2 columns for documents 1 through 8. Let's see here. It says, during this period of American history, throughout each lesson, please go back to your historian's journal to list new questions you have about what you are learning. Also add new information that you have learned. This information might answer your questions or might be something that is important or interesting to you. So like I said, you're going to continue using your historian journal as you go throughout all of the lessons in Module 2. When you are done, boys and girls, once you have, again, the first 2 columns, the K and the W, that's all you have to do is the K and the W for each document. Once you have that done, by the end of Module 2.01, you'll submit those pages. Once again, just the K and the W column for each of the 8 documents. That's all you have to submit. When you're ready to submit, you'll go to the next activity arrow in the top right-hand or top left-hand corner here. With social studies, boys and girls, you have to scroll to the bottom. Sometimes I know I've gotten a couple emails where you're saying, I don't see the submissions. Social studies, you have to scroll down. You'll have a blue plus button where you can attach your chart with the first 2 columns filled out for documents 1 through 8. If you have any questions, please reach out.